Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Laura Ongayo Liboi, also known as Liboi. I'm a singer-songwriter, producer, kalimba player, and I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. I do African contemporary music, which is folk music or traditional music blended with popular African genres. I'm an advocate of mental health, social justice, and culture, and I embrace the role of an activist based on the challenges I faced in my younger years and also where I grew up. I wanted to be able to tell my own stories. I wanted to be able to advocate for my rights as a woman. I wanted to be able to talk about the ill that are happening in the society, and also bring about change. So I question the human consciousness to improve the human experience. So I grew up in Kariobangi North. It is a very small place in Nairobi. It is very close to Korogosho slums. And as I grew up there were a lot of things going on. First of all, there was a lot of extrajudicial killing cases and a lot of crime issues, inequality in terms of the opportunities given to women as opposed to men. And I went through all these things. The mainstream media at the time used to cover our stories inaccurately. And so I constantly felt like I was misrepresented or underrepresented. I didn't like it because anytime I would try to invite someone to come home, they would decline because it has been portrayed to be a very bad area, full of crime. It wasn't safe. But that wasn't the case. There were so many good things happening in the area. We had a lot of art centers. We had a lot of resource centers where young people would have access to and then, come together, co-create and create beautiful things that the world needed to see. But that wasn't the case. And so I felt the urgency to become an activist myself so that I may be able to tell these stories the best way I can because the shoe fits. And I wanted to do it so as to create more opportunities for other young women that are from the same area. I wanted to tell the stories the best way that I saw fit. I wanted my voice to be heard. I wanted to encourage other people to also speak, be it through music, be it through storytelling, be it through contemporary dance, be it through media. That's what I wanted to do, and I created those spaces so that I may be able to change the narrative for those that are coming after me, and also those who are trying to do the same thing as what I'm doing. Started doing music in 2014, but at the time I was also doing it on and off. I was constantly in these creative spaces, music spaces, film spaces, and so I embraced all of them because my aim was, yes, to become a storyteller, but to be able to use different mediums as I wish to express myself and tell the stories. And so I started off as a filmmaker, and I studied in a school called K-Youth Media. It was a resource center in Kariobangi North, Landmark Plaza. I studied there film, videography, cinematography, that is, photography, editing, which I did afterwards. And right next to that center was a vocal center, a music center. So that's also how I got into music. Anytime we had a break from the film center, I would go to the music center and then spend some time with, few bands like Sarabi, Della, Sauti Soul had the band. I would go there and spend some time with them and just listen to them, and that's how I got into it. But again, before that, my father was a DJ. And I think subconsciously I also picked it up because he used to play a lot of traditional music in the house and even in the places where he used to go for work. So that's how I subconsciously picked it up. My influence, I would say, comes from my father, yes, but again, just my day-to-day experiences. Like I said earlier on, I question the human conscious to change the human experience. So it is basically what I pick every day from interacting with people, with spaces, with even things, objects. That's how I get inspiration. So I'm here in Kisumu with a group of 10 other people from Nairobi, and we're bringing a concept, a performance to here to Kisumu, specifically Dunga Hill Camp. Personally, I've been here for 7 days, and I've been a part of a festival within a festival. That is Kandalaziwa Festival, that is within another festival called Festac. Festac is a Pan-African festival that celebrates art and in Africa. It's a Pan-African event. And Kandalaziwa is another festival within it, whereby we have workshops. And these workshops we have different artists from different fields of art coming together to try and change the narrative, advocate for climate justice and climate change, but through art. Why art? Because it's a very powerful tool. We are the ones who are supposed to tell the truth. We are the ones who are supposed to make people think about their actions and bring about change. So that's why we're using art. This is visual art. We have dance, we have music, and we have poetry and storytelling. And so we have been at Dunga Hill Camp for about 8 days now. And we've been, like I said earlier on, learning, trying to co-create together, come up with new pieces whereby we are going to showcase them at later days to the public, to the community. But it is very important because we are focusing on Lake Victoria. It is one lake that unites 3 different countries in East Africa, or just it unites East Africa. So this is Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. And we're putting more emphasis on Lake Victoria because it is part of our culture. Namlolo is part of it's who we are. And again, like I said, it connects different countries together. So we are putting a lot of emphasis on Lake Victoria, and it is because it is a route. If we come together and work on cleaning Lake Victoria and work on putting back even routes that connects us to the different countries in East Africa, this includes Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, there is so much that can be done when we have easy access to each other. So that is what we're trying to do. And we're trying to clean it up because, again, we can see the climate change. We can see how climate is changing every other day. The waters are angry. Mother Nature is very angry. Now, we are linking it to mental health as well, because a long time ago, when we used to be friendly with nature, when we used to take care of our lakes, when we used to take care of our environment, again, human beings had a safe space to always go back to fall back to. When things became really hard, they had nature to go back to stay grounded, to connect with their roots, to connect with themselves. But again, we're slowly losing this by us not taking care of our environment, by us polluting the sea, by us polluting the lake, and killing fish, and it's destroying our homes. Because, again, with the floods that we've had recently, we've had people who have lost their homes, we've had people who have lost businesses, and again, we're heading to a place where drought is gonna be there. We're going to experience drought anytime soon. So whatever we're doing in Kandalaziwa Festival is basically all artists coming together to use their craft, to talk to people, to question their actions, and think about how else they are going to create spaces where they exist with nature, and also spaces where allow us to be one with nature again. So that's what Kandalaziwa is about. And again, within Kandalaziwa, like I said earlier on, we will have later days where we're going to showcase different works that we've done. I and my team of 10 people who are from Nairobi are bringing another conceptual performance. It's a 2-hour multidisciplinary performance called Whispers of Power that fuses music, contemporary dance, storytelling, and visual art. And we're bringing it here to Kisumu because, first of all, Whispers of Power is like I said, a 2-hour multidisciplinary performance that focuses on safety and security. But again, when we bring it to Kisumu, we are putting more emphasis on this safety and security. What does it mean for me to be safe with myself, for me to be able to create another space for another individual to be safe? And also, how does it look for me to be safe and secure within my environment? And again, it falls back to mental health because we're trying to allow people to think about their actions. We are allowing people to reflect on the patterns that they have in their lives, but to be aware, and then again to create spaces where they change their actions to become better humans, to better the human experience. So we are looking at the floods once again, and we're going to change the narrative. How it happened in Nairobi was very different because it was completely about mental health. And then now, yes, it's about mental health. How does this flood affect us mentally? How is us losing our homes affecting us? How is it mentally to lose our businesses, our incomes, to be able to not maneuver because, we are flooded. I've seen some houses in Kisumu already, in close to Dunga Hill Camp. I've seen some houses where it's a swamp, like it's in the middle and then it's just swamp. It's flooded all around. So these people who are maybe in the building are not able to move outside. So we can't pretend to not care about climate change because it is in our daily activities, day-to-day activities. If you get tired, maybe you feel like the sun is too hot, it matters. If it is too rainy, it matters. If the city is no longer green, it matters. All these things, I think we really have to pay a lot of attention to it. I think the problem with human beings is that we know of the things we shouldn't do, but again, we do it subconsciously. But it would be really nice for the subconscious to be conscious as well. We have to be deliberate with that so that we may be able to change how things are happening now. We don't have a lot of spaces for creatives to go and get mentorship regarding branding, regarding financial knowledge. We don't have spaces for such things. And so Kandalaziwa has been created to also support artists, to give them a direction, to mentor them so they have other facilitators or people that have been in the industry for long and are experienced to come and give their expertise and knowledge and share it with the young people. So those are some of the things that have been happening. And again, we've had sessions where we are collaborating to create pieces together. And there is we're supposed to create an anthem for Lake Victoria. So that is what we are working on. And I mentioned earlier on that Lake Victoria it's an important asset. Before the Queen came, before they divided and gave us territories, it was different. Yeah, life was different. We had, first of all, cultural names for the lake. In Kenya, we had a different name. In Uganda, I think it was Nalubali. In Kenya, it was Namlolwe. Tanzania, I think it was Inyanza, if I remember correctly. So these are different names, but cultural names that we could also identify with. But we are slowly losing our culture just because the name changed to Lake Victoria. We don't even consider it ours. We don't feel like it is something we should take care of because we don't identify with it in any way. And so learning about the cultural aspect of it and how rooted it is in our own cultures, it is important because then it makes us somehow identify with it and connect with it and take care of it. So that is also what we're trying to do. Teach each other about the cultural aspect of it, our own cultures, learning about it, and then now advocating for it. Having women also included in these conversations. So that's why we have the climate justice happening or coming in. I think it's a conversation that everyone has to be involved, even watu wa kijiji, watu wa boda boda, watu wa makampuni, the fishmongers, watu wa wanaitwaje, wenye wanachukua fish kwa nini, fishmongers ni wenye wanauza. So Whispers of Power is supported by the French government through the Creation Africa Kenya project. That is a He-Stage program. So He-Stage is basically, like I said, a program that supports artists in Kenya to take their ideas on tour in Kenya. So these are 5 different places, different locations, and it's based on Kasik. Kasik is cultural art spaces in Kenya. So in partnership with Kasik, we are able, the selected artists, we are able to take our projects on different locations. These locations are Kisumu, Nairobi, Mombasa, Lamu, and Nakuru. And I will be, for us, the entire team, we will be taking Whispers of Power here to Kisumu, and then Nairobi and Mombasa later on. The main event is on the 24th of this month, that is this Friday, at 6 to 8 p.m. here at Dunga Hill Camp. We welcome everyone, it is free. And
You are watching Media One International, always fast and fast. Like, share, and subscribe.